I'll never forget it. It changed my life. People started showing up. I remember Jon Favreau and I were driving around to theaters, and they kept rolling over Iron Man into other theaters, kind of like watching, watching the train schedule change. And it was just so palpable. But I guess people reacted as much to me and the character and Gwyneth, and the whole idea was there was just a tone to the movie that people enjoyed. We went a little batty, and then we kept working and hashing it out, and it was just this kind of never-ending pursuit of the best possible ideas. We knew when we did that it kind of took away a bunch of opportunities, but we thought, no, it actually affords us more, because now we have to explore what does it mean to say something but not really know what you are saying at the time. In other words, he says it because in the moment he feels that he can be direct and honest with the public, and that's going to serve him. Truth be told, is it kind of does, and it also starts bringing some strange characters from his family's past looking for him. Mickey is Ivan Vanko. He's a very, very, very smart son of an ex-partner of Howard Stark, Tony's dad. So there's a kind of a road not allowed to travel, that his dad kind of died in obscurity and penniless and unhappy, and yet Tony doesn't know that he actually has some involvement in the reason that Tony was able to survive. So it's kind of a perfect setup for a showdown. I remember shooting that at strangely Downey Studios, and we also had some plates and a bunch of guys, advising us from Monaco. It was just a really interesting week when we saw him appear as Whiplash, and Mickey had a lot of his own ideas and specs about how he wanted to appear, what the choreography was like. Obviously, from having done The Wrestler, we really trusted his instincts, also being a boxer, but more so just his psyche and the mindset of this guy is really quite intimidating. I always thought, why do we not address the fact that Tony Stark is a very accessible person, and what would he do to protect himself in the event of an emergency? So thus, a new little piece of tech that we get to enjoy. Scarlett Johansson actually has a dual role as both Natalie Rushman and Black Widow. She probably had the toughest job, because it's no mystery, I think, at this point. By the time you see her in her suit, you must think, well, it's not like she dresses that way for her secretarial position. So she's kind of leading Tony back to this super secret organization he's kind of always been a part of, whether he knew it or not, which is S.H.I.E.L.D. It was so central to Iron Man's success that we thought, okay, well, are we just going to do more of that, or how do we up the stakes? And so we definitely considered that. And when you think about Gwyneth, too, you think about her being able to probably do anybody's job. So we had thought moving her way, way, way up in the company was going to be helpful, and also to change the status between she and Tony, because Pepper, even though she's still his assistant at the end of the first Iron Man, we really feel that she's his equal, and I think that a lot of our female attendees appreciated that. She's not kind of pigeonholed into the usual two-dimensional, mid-century idea of the gal. Literally a different persona, and that Don Cheadle is reprising the role. Someone I've always admired a lot. And again, to up the stakes there, anyone who looks at the poster knows that Iron Man 2 is about two Iron Men. And one of my happiest remembrances is how we actually really were able to craft that taking place, because it could have, again, been two-dimensional, but we had to really see Rhodey's conflict, and the way it unfolds is a little more interesting than you might think. Jon Favreau is my brother, and he also happens to be the director. I don't think either of us would be in the positions we're in if not for each other. So sometimes we have an uneasy alliance because we're kind of so conjoined by this great success. But for the most part, whenever it goes back to he and I just hashing out ideas and working in a room, that's where we belong.